Welcome, travelers, to the dusty town of Driftwood. It's seen its better days, that's for certain, especially after having felt the effects of interdimensional conflict, which saw some travelers beyond the rifts take a stand in this humble town. Since then, few have come and few have gone, but today we bring another tale of Driftwood as we begin this tale on the dusty roads outside of town. With a bounty hunter on his horse, riding in the lonely roads. Who do we see atop the horse?
One second. I accidentally clicked something that I didn't mean to click. Okay. So, atop the horse, you see the one that most of the town just knows as Ben. Wearing sort of a light tan colored cloak over his shoulders. Big wide hat that when tipped down covers most of his face. On his side, he has a rapier.
This it certainly isn't your first time in Driftwood, Ben, as you've traveled through the town before to deal with bounties from the local sheriff, and whether you're back through town to cash in another bounty or you're just strolling through for some supplies, one thing you know is, well, the last time you were in Driftwood, there certainly wasn't a giant slice down the center of the town sparking this odd purplish orange color.
I would probably make a mental note in my head, not really say anything out loud, but keep on going.
You should have control over your tokens, both you and the horse, to be able to move. And as you move through town, we find ourselves... I'll give everyone view for a hot second. I'll move this token in here for the sake of the recording. We find ourselves in the humble church of Driftwood, where a certain priest is speaking to his few crowd. But said priest, who do we see? What do we hear?
Said priest is currently on, in the midst of his sermon. I am not going to be able, in my current state of sleepiness, to be able to say this. So I am just going to slash E this into the chat. That didn't really work out. He's just doing the Catholic fucking Latin prayer of Our Father or whatever, the Pater Noster.
Nostra sin est nos dementis.
Yeah, like I said, I'm really tired and I'm not reading that at the moment. But it is a passionate sermon for sure.
See, that's why I don't go to church. Nobody's understanding that.
After your passionate sermon is said, you get your amens, you get your folk in the crowd. A woman in the front, though, speaks up and says, Father, what do we do about that thing in the middle of town? My boys were playing by it a couple of days ago, and something ain't right with them. I think they might be sick. My faith is up there, but I'm worried about them.
Okay, so this thing in the middle of town, would I know about this?
You and everyone in town would know that, and I can move your token there, that there is a large rift cutting through the entirety of the town,
Oh,
sparking
lovely.
off purples and oranges.
Uh, Lordrick would be like, well, my dear, if anything, these strange occurrences should just, strengthen your faith, as these are clearly works of the devil, which without, you know, the existence of devils and demons is nothing more than tongue twister, sorry, confirmation of the divine. I'm sure with enough time and prayer, your son will heal over time. Maybe after the sermon, I should go and see him.
Oh, that would be very kind of you, Father.
And then he would he like warns everyone else in the church to like give it a birth essentially until we figure out more.
You don't have many people in your church. One of the locals. You have the grave digger who tends to the church. The barber is also in attendance. So, but they listen intently. They nod their heads along. And as you warn the few, we find ourselves inside the saloon that we previously found one J. Jacobs. But now we find a new face at the bar. Who do we see?
Kind of a mangy redhead sitting down at the bar, wearing kind of a tattered, almost grayish blue, faded and worn uniform, a cloak, a shawl over his shoulders, displaying the insignia of a losing army from years ago. And he's got a big wide-brimmed hat, a pair of 6-shooters on his belt, and he's putting down handfuls of, I guess it'd be dollars, coins, I think probably dollars, and shoving it across, asking the bartender for the best food you got. It's been a long time since I've had a proper hot meal. I can pay.
Coming right up, stranger. What's your name? Haven't seen you in these parts before.
He's gonna look around the tavern, looking for any sheriffs or constables. You can call me Bart. I'm new in town.
Give me a perception.
Here we go.
One. You see some folks in the town. You definitely see two folks who have weapons on them, but not too unusual for a town in the Wild West. It's just rather unfortunate that you didn't turn around in time. You turn back to the bartender as well. A bounty hunter walks in.
This is my kind of town. Seems sparsely populated. You got some sort of big glowing thing outside. Reckon won't be too much trouble here.
Hopefully not. I'm not quite sure what it is, but quiet little town, as you said. I'll be right back out with
Did
your
the bartender?
What?
Does the bartender have a name?
I think it was something like Old Pete or something like that.
Hi, you know what you need
I
to
would
do?
walk up.
What's
Hey,
up?
Pete, how's business?
So, for yourself, like, is the bartender's not an actual token? Shit. Okay, I was gonna say, anytime that you come up with a name for one of these like tokened characters that you know that you're gonna have like later, you should just add their name to the bottom of their token as a reminder later.
You could just put a text box under them and put Pete and then attach
Or-
it to him.
This works.
That works. Yeah,
Oh,
like that.
it is a token.
Beautiful.
Hello there, Pete. How is business?
Oh, business has been better. Really slow days. What can I get you?
I'll take a meal and a tall drink.
Alright, 2 meals and a tall drink. Coming right up. And you see, kind of begins walking to the back, leaving only one more face to speak up. One face who happens to be quite familiar in the town of Driftwood.
Is this where we make our introductions? My
That
name
would
is
be correct.
My name is Jay. Just a whoosh and a swoop. That's how I sign it. I'm from Driftwood, born and raised. Know most folk around here. Most folk around here know me. And I have a question. We joked last time at the end of the session about my character being like a sheriff or a deputy. So I don't know if that actually became a thing.
You're like when the actual sheriff isn't in town,
It just goes around, hands you a badge.
he very like, because you're one of the more competent gunslingers in town, so when the sheriff is off on business, he very begrudgingly gives you a badge, like an honorary badge. So currently, you do have like an honorary badge.
A temporary badge holder. So when Ben was asking around about or looking around for people with a badge, I was wondering if I was wearing one or not, but then he rolled a 1, so
Yeah, Bart didn't see that.
Anyway, yeah. Those are my introductions.
Or quote unquote Bart.
Well, you are all in the tavern. Eventually, well, 3 of you are in the tavern. The father is still saying his sermons. Eventually, Pete comes back, gives the meals to Bart. Ben brings out the drinks. It would be around this time to Mr. Priest that your flock begins leaving. The sermons die down.
I
The
imagine,
people go
like,
back to their work.
right, I imagine as they're leaving, like, he's, like, closing his book, and the sun hits that window that they always have right behind their back, right? And it, like, gives that light, that divine light look, but it's like, oh, it's just the light, you know?
Mm-hmm. And you find yourself, before we go back to the tavern, you find yourself alone in your church. What would you like to do?
Let's see. To my knowledge, I don't have anything that. No way. He will go through now that his flock is gone, and he will like quench any candles, you know, humming a little bit of a prayer to himself. You know, making sure that if the incense continue to burn, that they don't set the church on fire, you know, like the after sermon activities. And then, you know, give himself a little bit of a last second prayer, flick a little water on himself before he starts leaving the church himself.
That is certainly a thing you can do. No issue. You've done this plenty of times. You are able to make your way outside of the church. You feel the dusty air of Driftwood.
Oh, real quick, before I leave the church, I'm checking the tithe.
Roll me, let's see. Just roll me a, You know, yeah, let's see. I want to see how good this is. Roll me an academics religion. Let's see how good your preaching was.
Okay. Do I get any synergy from my ritual miracles?
Yeah, I'll give you synergy.
Okay, so that'll be +2. beep. Oh no, 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 not yet. There we go. Well, actually, because okay, so that would be. Never mind. I need to cancel that roll then because it would be running off of the other then, and then getting the +2 from the other. Beep beep beep. Nope. Go away. There we go. So beep. That's a critic.
Oh my god! I have never seen that
Wow.
before.
Wow.
I've never seen that before on that many dice.
I've never crit before in this game. What does that do? What does that mean? Did I break it? Is that high score? No, I'm joking.
You win the game. Congratulations.
Your preaching was way too good.
You can finally buy your own church building. The building fund is ready.
It's
Oh yes, I have finally earned enough money to repair the local nursery. This is good. This will make people happy.
There's not a lot in it. You've known not to expect much from the citizens because again, this isn't the most expensive town. You know, not many travelers see their time in the hotel or anything. But you would have noticed that.
And plus, I imagine that Wardrick's not one of those preachers that's like, oh, you know, they will be punished for not paying, blah blah blah. He's like, he understands that these people, you know, are doing what they can, and like it's not like you know, don't break yourself in this life to like get some credits in the next life, you know.
You do notice, however, that the woman who left the church, she did seemingly leave behind $1.
A whole $1? Jeez.
A whole $1. Likely her entire, you know, credit from working at the hotel, but her faith is strong in the church.
Okay, Wardrick will do like will take the $1 that she put in out, slip it in his pocket, not for greedy reasons. All of you don't look at me like that. And then he'll like hide the rest in the floorboard where, you know, he hides the tithe money from the less righteous. And then he will start to begin to leave.
Okay. You begin to leave. Again, the dusty air and wind of Driftwood blows across your face. You see that damned Jacob's horse outside the tavern, outside the saloon. You also see a new horse has been hitched outside as well.
Well, they say that sinners do love company.
About this time, the man walks back out. Gonna go towards the sheriff's office, wherever that is.
It is down this way. Further down into the town. You know where it is. You've been there before.
How long has this purple thing been here?
It has been here. You had your encounter. You've met these travelers from beyond. You went to sleep that night with probably a raging headache, and you woke up and this rift was cutting through the town.
Okay.
So it's been at least a couple of days since Jacobs fought alongside those weirdos.
Yeah. They were very strange.
And as Ben leaves to head towards the sheriff's, what are Bart and Jacobs doing?
I rolled an intelligence, not expecting much. I was obviously not let down by that expectation. Regarding an item I have in my inventory. And
I imagine you probably have some whiskey in it right now.
Honestly, with that intelligence roll, I might just. It seemed important. I'm trying to remember the conditions with which it was left to me. But I'm pretty sure that I don't recall it actually healing me. I think
you were out of it.
I was out of it, yeah. So he just left me this fine cup that I kind of want to protect just because it's a nice cup, but I'm not entirely
Says, "I
sure
was
what to
given
do with
this, but
it.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
You know, I just imagine you drinking whiskey out of it, and the whiskey like
Yeah.
destroying your liver, but then healing the like part that it destroyed.
Probably. I'm probably in better health now than I ever been, and I really have no idea why. I think it has to do with that purple crack down out in the road. I don't know if that intelligence roll makes me think I should pour some holy whiskey into it or not.
I think that intelligence roll is really fitting for Jacobs.
It's beautiful, right?
So whether Jacobs is thinking, this is just a really fancy cup I was given, or wow, this cup has some power, it could really go either way because Jacobs ain't a smart man.
No. He is lacking in wit.
And as you're sitting there drinking holy whiskey,
Contemplating pouring it over that crack.
old Pete the bartender comes back up to you, Bart, and says, so how long you plan on staying in town for? Always interested in getting new faces?
Bart is just like pulling the last drumstick off of his plate, and it's all completely devoured, and he just shoves the scraps back over, starts picking his teeth with one of the bones. Ah, well, I guess that depends on what is that thing outside? I've never, some sort of magic. I've never seen that before.
We're not really too sure. You want to know more about that? I think you'd best go ask him. And he points his finger towards Jacobs.
I will look over at Jacobs and say, kind of still answering to Pete, but loud enough for JJ to now hear. Well, I imagine with people not worrying about it, I don't need to worry about it. But do you think this is going to cause a tension to your town, or you get more traffic coming through the normal?
And Jacobs, you hear this person saying it. Whether you interrupt Pete before his answer or you let him speak.
I would let old Pete answer first, and then say maybe ask the preacher. He's the one who has.
You go. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Bart, when you turn around, before Jacob say this, you do notice that in the hand of Jacobs is a very fancy-looking cup. It is one like you've never seen before. People pan for gold. They go out there on those rivers. This cup seems to be someone put a lot of gold into this cup.
Bart
I thought it was silver. I thought it just looked
like a normal cup.
Yeah, maybe it's
I'm joking.
The wooden one, like in
It's a chalice.
That's a good point. Maybe to Jacobs it looks like a gold and silver chalice, but to everyone else it's just a mundane clay cup.
That would change what I'm doing if it doesn't look.
I think that makes more sense. Like the Holy Grail is
this mundane
visible.
Looking goblet of clay. Yeah, makes.
Yeah, it's visible to you, Jacobs. You can see the beauty of the cup because you've been bestowed it. But to everyone else, you're just drinking out from like a disgusting clay cup.
Yeah, sounds about right, because I don't think I've washed it recently.
So I'm gonna spin on the chair then, so I'm kind of more facing JJ. Yeah, the preacher, where's he at?
Depending
man.
on the time, I think he would finish up his jibber jabber out there yonder, pointing in the direction of the church.
I'll start moving towards the door. It's been a good minute since I've been to a holy building. Thank you, sir. I'll be around. Wow, I can hear the rift.
There's the explanation. Every time we hear that sound, it's the rift sparking and sending off energy.
I think another funny thing about the cup is it, like, in theory, it could be reflecting the, like a soul mirror. It's reflecting the quality of the soul back to the person that views it.
The rift is sparking at your words.
Should I roll a perception check from that particular point of view?
Sure you can, partner.
I kind of want to use the style point because that'd be funny if I noticed something.
A 4. Well,
Rift.
you see the preacher. Standing out, taking in the air of Driftwood. You can see this figure here
Yeah,
going
he's just in
down
the tavern.
the road with his horse.
Can I call
And
out like?
for
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
before you get the chance to call out, for the splittest of seconds, when you're looking past this figure, you make eye contact with the man that you were previously pinging. And you see a nicely dressed figure with black suit, black tie, fine clothing you can imagine underneath, a top hat, and a very stylish mustache with points at the end. And he just makes quick eye contact with you and then closes the blinds of his window.
Establishment. Hey, you! I'm gonna shout to Ben on the horse and kind of step over to here.
Can I help you?
You were just in the tavern, right, with me? What happened when you walked over this thing?
Nothing that I've noticed.
Is it safe?
I mean, I walked over it, so didn't do anything that I've noticed. Like I said,
I'm gonna like lean over and look down at it.
Ben, you can roll me a perception check right now, and I'm gonna also use your previous one, Bart. It definitely didn't do anything to Ben, but you do, while the horse isn't whining or not feeling anything, both Bart and Ben, you do notice tiny little strands of purplish orange energy is slowly creeping up all four legs of the horse.
Huh. I'm going to step away from where I believe it's going under the tavern.
Does Lordric see them next to, like, this happening?
You would, yes. From your position, you would see everything going on in town.
He would be like, "Hail, stranger! You might want to step away from that thing. A poor boy from the community has been stricken sick from being too close to it."
Ah, the preacher.
Who's making the first move? It looks like we're in a standoff already. Do I need the music? Do
I
I
don't-
need the music? Do I need the standoff music?
Stand off with a man with no gun? How cowardice. No.
I want to take this horse if it's Jack, and like untie him and just start trying to lead him up to this one instead.
Jacobs, roll me a perception.
I was muted, but I was asking the same thing. Should I roll a perception?
Yeah.
I was thinking earlier that I wouldn't necessarily have the intelligence to not have the horse be there.
Well, with a 2 and the wide open doors, you are able to see that, this person who's just in the saloon is, untying your horse.
I chug my drink and I put it in the cloth I probably keep it in and hang it on my belt loop, and I say, "Hey, do I remember his name? I don't remember his name. Hey, you there, stranger!" I'm gonna just go out and move.
I'll turn while I'm like holding the reins and like touching your horse on the cheek. Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think you're doing there with my horse?
I'm moving it for you. This purple thing looks like this guy's horse is all done fucked up.
Well, there is some energy creeping up my horse's legs.
You got a style point for how you said that?
Can I roll an intelligence check to see what he's talking about?
Yeah, you sure can.
Oh, I hope I fail. Darn it! Okay, I'm just gonna stand to the side and watch as he's doing this, because I think with a 3 I probably get what he's talking about, unfortunately. But,
Yeah, I'm not trying to steal your horse. I have a highest respect for animals.
Can I roll a perception to see if anything's happening?
You certainly can. You can roll another one if you wish.
Oh, did I did roll up. That was to see my horse.
Yeah.
Okay.
A 3, you can definitely see that there are some sparks flying from this rift through town. And while you're looking around, I think the biggest thing that probably catches Jacob's eye is, well, you're standing across way from the preacher.
Yeah, can I roll a perception check?
You certainly can as well.
Can I roll an empathy check? Hold on, I have a whole 0 in it. This is gonna be great.
Yeah. No empathy.
Yeah.
Yep, you feel no empathy. And Mr. Preacher Man, you also see the sparks flying from this rift, and well, you spy the man who shot your son, shot your boy.
With a 4, do I notice like the cup?
You notice
I had put it in a cloth, like a bandana. I wrap it in that and put that on my belt loop.
You don't notice the cup, but you do notice the spark-like energy that is running up. You are able to see the energy running up this other horse down here.
Okay. The preacher will give like Jacobs or Jay the acknowledgement of your existence nod while he's like whispering under his breath, "I wouldn't cry if you fell into a shallow hole."
Honestly, the roll I made earlier for the intelligence was to see if I was smart enough to maybe talk with you about this supposed holy grail, but I rolled a 1.
It's okay.
That's why we're not better friends right now.
Well, you shot my son, so
that's true. No, that's true.
I don't think that we're even really like kind acquaintances at the moment.
For the backstory for why I shot him, I think it was he wasn't doing good things.
Right. No, my son was a piece of shit, but sometimes the parent will give a damn about their kids, even if they're shitty.
As it was known in the very first introduction for Jacobs, sometimes people call him out as a cheat during card games. Sometimes those people who call him out get shot. perhaps the preacher's boy was sinning a little bit, and well, he played the wrong card game.
Right. Dead man's hand.
Driftwood roulette.
Driftwood roulette.
The whole gun's loaded.
That's good. I like that.
I just have this image of Driftwood roulette just being playing cards until one of you is deemed a cheater.
Mm-hmm. And that's what happened to your boy.
And that's what happens every time these sinners play cards in this humble community.
I ain't know where he got that habit, but...
So, what's happening? What are the four of you doing?
Watching this here man with my horse. Plus, I was actually wondering about animal handling as a skill in this game. Is it or no?
It...
I don't have an online character sheet, but I feel like I would.
Probably
that is a
should be.
good...
Yeah.
It probably should be a skill. We can add it when you all... If you all get XP at the end of this and you don't all just die.
Dead men get no XP.
I mean, in a way, I could see, well, never mind, because, like, I was gonna say maybe ride could be / animal handling,
That's
but I
what
don't
we've
think...
always run it. Well, that's how I played it with, but I kind of like it being its own skill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I don't think that, like, animal handling comes down to just dex, you know?
And I think ride is specialized into specific things, like
Riding the animal.
an horse versus like a motorcycle or something. I don't know.
Can everyone give me a perception check, please?
Why certainly. What do I see?
Wow, you
You,
see everything.
You see that there are people playing your character beyond the screens. You break beyond the veil. No,
That wasn't a crit.
all of you see running from this side of town and leaping over the rift. They do not walk over it. Is a child, one of the children of the town, and they seem to be running directly in your direction, Jacobs. And when they make it to the steps of the saloon, they're huffing and puffing. They're out of breath. Jacobs, something bad's happening at the Hofstetter Ranch. They need you.
What's going on?
They're under attack. Someone's shooting up the place.
Who was it? I
Yeah,
start getting
who was it?
my horse ready.
Do I have a horse? How do I buy a
Did
horse?
you come in? You can have a horse. Would you like to have a horse airdropped? I can airdrop you.
Yes, hold on. Let me quick save The Witcher.
It walks out of the rift.
One moment, please.
I'm just imagining like a helicopter bringing a horse.
You see, a helicopter lands in the middle of Driftwood. You see, a man in the front seat with a black suit, a green scarf.
Anyway.
Go, drop the payload.
Here is your airdropped horse.
It's
Let me extend
tiny.
him for you.
Okay, I'm a pony.
Oh.
Great.
Hold on. I can extend him.
Ooh, I got one of those extendo horses.
You got an extendo horse.
Push the
See,
button.
if it was the smaller horse, we could just say that it was like an Arabian.
Seemed more like a pony to me.
The
I
dog
grabbed
can
the-
jump. Sorry.
I grab the boy by the back of his shirt and lift him up onto my horse.
You certainly do so. And he's like, whoa!
Tell me as we go. So, what's going on? Who's shooting things up?
And Mr. Preacher Man, you see these three figures all hop on their horses. You see the boy running to Jacob's in a panic. And if you can give me that roll, please.
Me?
No, the preacher, the role I just asked for.
Oh, I missed
Whispers.
it. Then. Oh, okay.
A 2 is enough. The woman who dropped the dollar in, who was at your sermon,
That was worried about her boy that was sick, right?
yes, you know that the ranch that this other child is shouting about, the Hofstetter Ranch, that is her family. She hasn't lived there for a long time, but old man, old Hofstetter, the old man Hofstetter, is the lone face of the ranch. He takes care of it with his ranch hands, but his daughter, the woman who was at your sermon, and her family have since moved to actually live within Driftwood.
All right. Wardrick will start very slowly, decrepit old man slowly hobbling over towards you guys, and we'll be like, "Hey, you see, I have particular concerns with these turns of events. Is there any way that I could get a ride with someone? It would take me a millennia to get over in that current direction."
Climb aboard, preacher.
Thank you, kind gentlemen.
I swear he don't speak English.
Wardrick would giggle and be like, You barely speak English."
Gives the man a style point.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, that was funny.
Okay, your horse is able to be controlled, sir.
There we go.
You said this horse will move anywhere.
Giddy up.
I'm definitely the character that just
watch him
asks
be
for
riding
the
in the wrong
insults.
direction.
Oh, advance in the opposite direction.
As you're all riding, hold on, let me grab you all.
Told you it was hard to control.
As you're all riding, the little boy is telling you, Jacobs, that the rift is sparking up. As you're all riding, he tells you that the last he was helping old Hofstetter with some chores around the house when a man that is simply known as Jed. Everyone just calls him Jed. He's kind of a notorious, not local. He lives around the area. He's known for being you aren't sure how he's survived any encounters with you, Jacobs, because he's quite notorious to be a cheat in Driftwood roulette. One would call him a bandit. And as you're riding, the young boy tells you this and how him and his band were threatening old man Hofstetter, and he ran to come get you.
Not just one would call him a bandit. Everyone would call him a bandit.
That would be correct. And eventually, you guys do find yourselves at the Hofstetter Ranch. A little ways out, you don't hear any gunshots, but you do hear shouting back and forth. I'll actually move you to the map. to the Hofstetter Ranch.
I'd probably get the boy off my horse so he's not directly on it when I'm
So, what do you all do to bandits in these parts?
And I imagine you're not at the town just yet. You all are a ways away, but you can see that, you know, there's trouble afoot.
My map is still getting details. It'll take a second.
I'm still wondering whether Nordric Saint Slayer's name means that he's a saint that slays, or he's a person who
not
slays.
Slayer.
Stair.
Oh, oh. Wow. That's what happens when I'm not zoomed in.
You're cut off. You're already drunk, Jacob.
Not surprising at all.
I'm with you.
Does the Holy Grail make it more potent?
Ooh.
Well, I mean, alcohol is a form of poison, and so it would actually heal the poison.
So you probably can't get drunk drinking out of that.
And what was Bart saying? He was asking what happens to bandits in these parts.
Yeah,
Well,
what do
depends
y'all
on
do
who's-
to them?
Depends on who's dealing with it.
I usually
Hang
get
him in the
paid
name of
around
our
people
Lord.
like this.
As you guys begin to ride closer, with the sound of the rift still sparking in the background, can everyone please roll me a perception?
How far away from the rift are we?
All of my
You're-
rolls have been that.
You're ways out of town. You've rode for a solid, maybe we'll say the Hofstetter Ranch isn't that far out of town. It's a bit of a ways. You can still see the town in the distance. We'll leave it at that. You can still see the town off in the distance. And as you all approach, Jacobs, Lordric, Ben, you can all hear, this bandit leader, the bandit leader known as Jed, shouting towards the house. He's shouting, "Come on, old man! Either give us the gold we know you have hidden in there, or your farmhands get it! We're gonna tear this place apart if you don't come out."
We haven't been seen at this point.
You're all still a ways away. I imagine, as you're riding up, you are hearing the shouting match.
Okay.
So no, you have not been seen yet.
I'd like to try to dismount and just send my horse away and try to run towards this area.
Yeah, I
You
wouldn't.
certainly can.
Yeah, I wouldn't ride up on the horse either.
Leave these horses back here.
Well, I'm smart enough to get the kid off of my horse, but let me roll it in. I like my horse. I do think that would be enough for me to get off of my horse.
Gosh, what should I name this
All right.
horse? I'm gonna, send the horse off and just gonna go into a crouch run and try to get up to the farm fence, and I will draw a revolver. Just
All right.
one revolver.
Okay. Do you have stealth?
I have a stealth roll incoming, and I will put a stout point in it because I am being It's very stylish in my sneaks.
And if anyone else wants to roll stealth to sneak up, you certainly can.
Yeah, I'd have my lasso out as a way to try to capture somebody. That's a 0. I don't know how, but
You should be having a dex number put in. So if you don't have any ranks in it, it should just be your base dex. So if you have a 3 dex to roll 3
I have
dice.
3 levels in it.
Um,
Maybe it's not inputted right.
check the
So
total.
that should be
You
6.
didn't put the rating. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why. Okay, re-roll that. There.
All right, and Bart, Ben, show me where you guys are sneaking up to. Are Jacobs and Lordrick, are you guys wanting to stealth?
So, I don't think Jacobs would stealth. Let me see. Does he even have that as a...
She might not.
I'm up to there, I guess.
Jacobs isn't stealthy. He'll leave his horse behind, but he's going to take the regular path to get into there.
All right.
Gordrick's not very stealthy either. The creaking of his bones can probably be heard from across the mountain, so he's gonna like be kind of like walking like as fast as he can behind Jacob, which
All right.
isn't very fast.
So yeah, place yourselves where you would be. And that goes for everyone. Bart, where you wanted to sneak up, and where you guys wanted to be. Are you guys wanted to be in the entrance?
Can I go into the hedge? I'm imagining these are kind of at least waist-high hedges. Or are these just like little cabbage rows?
Yeah, like rows of cabbage, rows of corn, might be even corn.
Okay, cool. So as long as I can like disappear into the farm plot, I'd like to be crouched and concealed.
For sure. And Jacobs, Lordrick, where on the road are you guys? Do you guys just walk right in?
Yeah, but I because
Absolutely.
I'm slower, I imagine I'd be behind Jacobs, not in front of him.
All right, so Jacobs, you wanted to be through the gates, or you wanted to be outside the gates?
Outside the gates.
All right, so like right here-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. As we're walking in, I believe, like sensing that, like, you know, these are not men of God. So he, danger is afoot. He will begin like, you know, praying that like they don't get like shot at or whatnot. I would like to roll a ritual magic to attempt to, like, I don't know, kind of protect us in some way.
You certainly can.
Okay. Beep. I'll just go ahead and do a flat roll, because why not? 4 willpower.
4 ritual miracles. You begin your prayer to protect everyone, and you can certainly continue this prayer. You do not feel any powerful protections just yet, but you have just only started your prayer. And as you begin praying, one of these bandits grabs the farmhand and puts his gun to his head, turns him around, says, "Boss, we got company." And as that happens, as Jed, the bandit leader, turns, the old man Hofstetter, peers out from his doorway and takes a shot at this bandit.
Ooh, we are off. Do I recognize any of these bandits by any chance? Or are these all just nobodies?
Ooh, give me
Yeah.
give me empathies if you have them.
Oh, I put a rank in empathy. It's not terrible. Wow, that's a 4 out of 4.
And I will ask for initiatives.
Clicky token.
I don't think this is going to roll anything. It is not.
Do you wanna see if I can I see your character sheet? Can I have access to his?
He does. Yeah, sure. He also has no levels in empathy.
Oh, I thought that was his initiative. And if he doesn't
No,
have
that was
levels,
an
he should still have intelligence because it's a 0 level skill.
Yeah. So just roll your intelligence.
But if you
Okay.
roll intelligence, it'll double the intelligence.
Was it intelligence at a -2, isn't it?
If his intelligence is 2, then it'd be roll intelligence and add -2. Yes.
Mine is a 3.
Roll your initiative. Wow, that guy got horrible initiative. And then roll me that intelligence.
That didn't roll into the thing, so
Nope, I got it. Don't worry.
hit it. Yeah, you change it.
And then roll your intelligence, please.
And intelligence.
Who am I missing in this? Oh, I'm missing the old man. He took a pot shot, a cheeky pot shot. He needs to be in the initiative. All right. Well, Bart, you are up first with your initiative. As you peer from the corn, as you hear the shot ring off from a revolver coming from the house, you can see the bandits. You can see the leader. You see Jed. It may these bandits may not be a group that you may immediately recognize. They aren't ones that you have certainly pissed off yet, but you know, they may, if they see you, they might know you. You might have a reputation.
Okay. I'm gonna sneak closer up. So I'm about here hiding behind the fence for the maximum amount of cover. And do the farmhands all look pretty much like innocents?
Yes, they do. The two farmhands that are held at gunpoint seem to be pretty scared. They both have guns to their heads.
Okay, I'm going to brace my wrist on the wood of the fence and aim at the bandit leader, and I'll take the aim action. That's my turn.
Okay. Jay Jacobs.
I think diplomacy is somewhat past us, but Bart, what do you think you're doing here? Sorry, not Bart. Jeb, not Bart. What's his name?
Bart's
Jed,
like,
what do you think you're doing here?
Don't give
Sorry,
away
my
my
bad.
cover, man!
Sorry, my bad.
I'd like to imagine that actually happened, and Bart's like, woo.
riff reset it or something.
Sorry.
That's amazing.
Oh.
I was trying to remember his name, and then everyone was going, yeah, my bad.
Jed turns to you, and he sees you, and says, wrong time to get between a man and his gold, Jacobs.
From the looks of it, it don't look like it's yours.
Well, that's just a matter of your opinion.
You see these fine folks who work hard to pay for taxes and the sheriff and their own land? You seem to be holding one of them up, and you also don't seem to be doing your part very much. I don't think this is your town anymore.
That's a good line right there. I know it's very horrible for you. And so I'm going to ask for a very funny diplomacy.
Absolutely.
Oh gosh.
Hold on, I have a -2. This is going to be great.
Yeah. Even if that would just be a flat charisma roll. I think it's funnier taking the 000.
Absolutely.
You say this. You're trying to talk, and he has his gun in his hand. He can't go yet, but he already has his gun in his hand, and he is starting to train it on you.
Oh, Jacobs doesn't have his gun in his hand. I just want to point that out. I am trying to be diplomatic and do the right thing here.
And it seems like you may have failed.
Oh, shush. I already know I would. Anyway, that's my turn, is to be diplomatic and try to give time. And
do you want to move up at all?
I like this distance personally, just because of what is the distance actually for the guns he have and the guns I have. I may not be smart, but I feel like that would be something that Jay would actually maybe know.
Well, you know that the revolvers shoot
50
lesser
feet.
range than a rifle.
Do they have a rifle?
They all seem to have revolvers.
Oh, perfect. Well, I am just out of range for them. If it's my revolver is a 50-foot, so that's what I am going to imagine is theirs. So I kind of want to stay right where I'm at, so I can move forward next turn if I need to.
All right. Well, then with that, we move to Ben.
Yep. Sorry, I wasn't doing much.
And my roll, what happened with that?
As we get to your turn, you definitely recognize Jed. You've been through some towns. He has a bounty on his head. It's not much. It's a very small bounty because he's more of a nuisance than anything. This is the first time he's actually got a gang together.
Somebody wants him gone.
But somebody wants him, yeah.
Okay, and is there any way to move back this way, or no?
Yeah, you can
Because
circle
I can't see
around.
because of that blackness.
You can circle around.
Okay. Because I feel like the stealth would be pointless if I just walked straight forward the other way. And 5. We'll go that way.
All right. So
Which
you're
way are
just
those two
sneaking around.
facing?
They seem to be facing a mixture. They're kind of looking at the barn door and they're looking down here. This
Okay,
guy's
so
looking
they wouldn't be
down
looking-
here. This guy's looking at the barn door.
They're not looking my direction then. They're looking down there and
Yeah,
at the
they
barn.
don't seem to notice you. All right.
Good.
If that's your go. The old man, you all hear the old man. He's shouting out.
Me hoppity, get off of my property.
Yeah, he's yelling. Jen,
Um,
I've had enough of you. You either leave now, or finish off that boy of yours. And he's just gonna shout threats.
Yeah, somebody will have to explain how to do the magic for me, so I don't know. how to
Mordred,
do
you
that.
just roll ritual magic, and then things happen. You just tell me what you want to
I don't
happen.
even see that on my sheet. Where is that? There it is. Okay. I found
Yeah,
it.
ritual magic is really low on the sheet. It should be above like science or stealth.
Mm-hmm. Will you want to do
Okay.
something with it?
No, not at the moment. I'm not close enough to react if it doesn't work the way I want it to.
All right. Well, then we move to Lordric.
Lordric, he's gonna move forward just a little bit as far. Wait, hold on, let me see. I'm pretty sure I can't move very far. Yes, as far as Lordric can move. 1, 2 spaces up. There we go. Okay. Oh man, I've covered so much distance. You could have seen the wind in my hair. Anyways, he continues praying, trying to reinforce, like, the will of our Lord. Another ritual magic. 7.
7. You definitely begin praying harder. You begin manifesting the will of your Lord, of the Lord, and you do begin to feel a barrier take hold over, for now at least, you and Jacobs.
Okay. I wouldn't be able to make the inspire action because I'm holding the barrier, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's my turn for now then.
The bandits.
I've been forgetting something.
Mm-hmm.
The bonus from my Bible or my
Yes.
grimoire.
Yes.
Shit. It doesn't matter this time, but just try to remind me.
Will do.
I'll like write a note somewhere.
All the bandits. This one's gonna begin moving down. Actually, this one up here is gonna roll a perception. You see Ben, this figure, move up to the barn doors and begin unlatching them. And something happens. You don't know what. And you can hear him shout, Jed, he's got something in the barn. And then this bandit's gonna move towards the door as well. These guys are gonna kind of begin backing up just a little bit with the bandits. Not this guy. This guy kicks the farmhand free and books it for cover after taking a shot. Ducks for cover. This one is gonna back up just a little bit. These two are gonna come to the party. And then Jed's turn. Jed shouts out with weapon in hand. He backs up a little bit to duck and cover. And shouts out, "What you got in that barn, old man?" That's going to be his turn as we move to Bart.
That's perfect timing because I'm just asking Becca what I missed. I think sounds like nobody's gotten shot officially.
The only person that got shot was that one bandit from the old man who kicked it off.
Okay, and the farmhands are still alive. And did I
one
lose?
farmhand got booked free.
And the bandit leader, I was taking aim at him. I think if he took cover, I probably lost that. So he's in the little stable. He's in a chicken farm. Or
Yep.
is it a pig pen?
It's like a chicken coop, yeah.
Okay. And then he's shouting about what's in the barn. Is that this big black spot here? Or
Yep.
is it? Oh, okay. Well.
Yeah, this one.
What does he have in the barn? I don't really want to break cover. Hold on. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. I'll hop over the fence. Do I need to roll for that or no?
Give me a... What would it be? Acrobatics?
Or athletics, probably.
I'm not super acrobatic, so can I just climb over instead of...
Oh yeah,
gracefully?
climb is a thing.
Okay. It's above average for me.
Yeah, you're able to, climb over the fence.
Okay, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'd like to double move. 1,
You certainly
2,
can.
3. And try to climb over this one again.
Yep.
4, 5, 6, and I'm gonna crouch down by the stairs, and then I'd like to whisper, "I'm not one of them, but what do you got in the old barn, old man?"
You hear a kind of a whisper back. It's nothing. Don't. And he kind of grumbles.
I think that's probably all I can do.
Give me, if you have empathy, give me an empathy, Bart.
Incoming. Empathy.
You don't get much.
That's okay.
Jacobs. You are muted.
I, at this point, want to see how far away they have moved. Probably walk forward a bit. Oh, I still have the measuring tape up. Okay, we're good. Oh, move back to... Sorry. There we go. I move forward a square. And, Bandit leader, what is your name again? Jed. Okay.
Jed.
I need to just write this in the chat over here so I can remember it. Jed.
I could just change token.
We could, yeah. Jed, I think I said this ain't your town no more. I think that means you need to be moving along. You holding these fine folk up here hostage. Well, I'm sure the sheriff won't have anything nice to say about that. If you ain't get the picture while I'm talking right here politely, I might have to be a little nasty. And I'm going to threat. I don't know if intimidate would actually be any... I do have a little bit of intimidation. Yeah, it's better than my diplomacy.
A 1.
Yay!
You get
It's
one,
better by what?
and he responds with, you know what, let me roll something for him. Let me roll something for Jed. I'll roll his willpower. He also gets a 1. He's listening to you. He's not fully... He's listening to you, but he's not on board. He's still here for a reason, and he's gonna get something.
Yeah, he's
Like,
gonna
get a
get
bullet.
shot.
Well, anything else from Jacobs?
Does he respond?
It is very conflicted response. He says, I don't want to stay in this backwater town as long as I have to, but I'm not leaving here without something, Jacobs.
Okay, you said it. Can I quick draw and shoot him?
Ooh, yes you can.
He said he wanted to leave with something. Maybe a bullet in his butt would be convincing. Hey, I have dual hands. Let's see.
You have dual wielding.
I have dual wielding. I don't know how dual wielding works.
Dual wielding gives you less penalties when you total attack and shoot with 2 guns.
I haven't... Well, no, I did move. I moved. I can't total attack. So we'll just submit this as a bullet in his butt. Wait a second. He's at further distance. Can I move forward a little more?
You can.
So that penalty isn't a thing?
You certainly can.
Because... yeah. Okay. I think it was... here? I think. I didn't really want to be too far away from...
Yeah, that is exactly 50.
Yep.
So here is his defense from behind. Wow, that is a full success.
That was a full success. I thought that was a pretty good shot, too.
The bullet whizzes past and it hits the barn. And you all hear shouting out from the house, Old Man Hofstetter. You hear him shouting, not the barn!
What's in the barn?
Oh no. Oh no.
And we move to Ben.
I almost want to try my diplomacy roll. I guess I would step up to, let's see. It's about there. Stand down, Jed. We can end this before any bloodshed happens. And I'll roll diplomacy.
Roll diplomacy at a -2.
How do I do that?
When the little symbol comes up.
Oh, the modifier problem. Okay, I didn't
Yeah.
have it checked. My bad.
Let me roll something, because bullets have been shot already. So I'm gonna roll his willpower.
I didn't hit him in my defense.
You didn't, but you still shot at him. And I'm gonna give him a bonus because of it. As the bullet flies and as you shout this, you can hear Jed shouting, "Leave no one standing, boys!"
Well, I don't like resorting to this, but I guess I can shoot at one of them. Sure, there we go. That'll work.
Did you already have your gun out? I know you said you had your lasso out. Did you have your gun out, or are you drawing your gun?
I probably... Well, no. I would have had to switch at some point, but I guess seeing that I wouldn't be close enough for the lasso, I'll just wait.
Okay.
Forget it.
The old man rushes out of the building. And he's shouting, "Not the barn!" And he's gonna fire at this bandito with his revolver. Defense. He takes a hit. The old man is going to do all the work here today. Lordric, your turn.
Lordric is as quickly as possible going to scuttle up as close as he can to behind Jacobs. Trying to get like directly behind Jacobs so that Jacobs a meat shield towards any bullets that may possibly hit him. And will continue praying loudly. Louder now that bullets are being fired, you know, like really trying to get God's attention right now.
Remember your Grimoire bonus.
Right. So +2 from the Grim. And then I'm actually going to throw in 2 rift points.
Okay.
As it is now an emergency, and I will submit that. Hey, another 7. Hey, if I get 3 7s in a row, no.
You hit jackpot. With another 7, you begin praying louder over the gunfire, and what I imagine would be yourself, Jacobs, Ben, and Bart. You all feel the power of a holy prayer take over you, and you will all get +2 to your defense.
I imagine it's like a overcast day, right? And a little bit of the clouds like crack open as it causes that like God ray effect, you know?
Yeah. Throw this on in the background.
I definitely know what you're talking about. It's definitely a little foggy, and the sun is shining through the trees, through the fog and the clouds.
If that's your go, Lordric, these bandits. This one here is going to take a shot at you, not Bart, Ben.
Which one's shooting me?
This one right here.
Okay.
I don't even know. Oh, there he is.
With his light revolver. So roll a defense +2. He fires at you and it misses. This one's gonna kick this farmhand free and he's gonna go running as he backs up behind some cover, backs up behind a chicken coop with his weapon at hand. This guy is gonna try and take a shot at old man Hofstetter. I gotta remember to turn the modifier prompt on for my NPCs.
Yeah, he's got penalty to defense too, if he's been shot at before.
The old man takes the shot, and it's not looking good for the old man. He takes the shot, immediately ducks down behind some, behind his fence. He's bleeding. He's gonna get there. This bandit up here by the barn, despite he was in the middle of opening the barn doors by the time gunfire went off. And boy oh boy does something happen when he opens the door.
Oh snap.
The door is barely being opened before you all hear the sound of crashing and splinters go flying as the guy directly in front, well, let's see if it hits, as this thing comes breaking free from the barn. I'll show it to everyone.
Ooh, dang.
What in the seven hells is that?
And you hear the sound of a large demonic hog letting loose a roar as it charges forth at this bandit and gores him, sending him down to the ground flying. As Jed sees this, and he says, I'm actually gonna roll something for him. I'm gonna roll another willpower for Jed. A 1. He's gonna run. He's gonna duck behind, and he's gonna shout, why are you keeping a monster in your barn? As we move to Bart.
I hear it. Do I see it?
You can definitely see splinters going everywhere and something. You can see something.
I'm going to come up here and kneel down next to him. Can I do a quick perception to see how badly he's bleeding? Or would that be a medicine?
I think it'd be more medicine, yeah.
Okay, I can... Oh, that's just the wrong character sheet. Where's mine? Okay, here it is. Yeah, I want to... This is not to heal him, it's just to look at his wounds.
He is bleeding pretty heavily from his right arm. As you kind of look at him, though, he has the look on him like, I've been shot before.
Okay, so he doesn't look like he's bleeding out yet.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna kind of adjust his jacket so it looks a little bit more straighter. He's like, "You're gonna be okay, old man. You're gonna be okay. Hey, where's the gold, old man?"
Give me do you have diplomacy or con even?
I've got con, not diplomacy.
Give me con.
I'm gonna dump 2 style points into the stuff that really matters. You're gonna be okay.
He says, you ask him, "Oh, where's the gold, old man?" And he says, "It's in the fireplace. Make sure these bandits don't get their hands on it."
You just keep an eye on the barn, old man. Just keep an eye on the barn. So I moved 3. Actually, I don't have the move enact, so I can't move anymore. That would have to be my turn. Actually, since I didn't move, can I actually try to like do try to patch his wound a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Because you surveyed his wound, I allow you can take a +2 for the medicine.
Okay, and I don't have lifesaver, so this is divided by 2. That's 2 health. I'm just gonna like whip out my pocket handkerchief and just like stuff it into his abdomen. Like, you can be okay. You just keep an eye on the barn. That's my turn.
He's nodding his head along. Jacobs, you see this massive beast wrench its way through the barn.
And you can hear Wardrick in the background, like, the walk of the devil.
And
You're muted.
I'm muted. I'm not muted anymore. I said I think I'm gonna need something bigger than these here guns. Is what I said. Anyway, I asked Lordrick, you happen to have a light? Actually, do I have a light? Do I smoke?
Do you?
Do I have a light?
It's like
It's the only light I have, child, is the light of the Lord.
I smoke, so I have a light.
Perfect.
Okay. I'm feeling to see if my dynamite I happen to randomly have on my character sheet is easily accessible and how in the world I would possibly use it. And I can't think of any scenario with which I could possibly use it because I'm not smart. So I just use my revolvers.
I'll get you to use that dynamite eventually.
I'm gonna use it. I just don't know how. Lordrick, the stuff that they use that goes boom might be useful against this guy. I say, pointing to my dynamite in the back. I'm not sure what I should do with it, and I get out my weapons, and he is more than 50 feet away. What is the penalty for if he's further away?
That's a good question. Isn't some like beyond like every couple of 10 feet? It's a minus something.
What was the question? I missed it.
What's the penalty for shooting somebody who is outside of my my shooting?
It's -2 for every range increment, which I think is every 25 feet or something like that. I can check.
50 feet is the total increment, but I'm not sure.
So range is -2 to the attack roll if weapons range is an additional -2 is incurred for targets every 20 feet additional, I think is what it says from the Hollow Earth book at least. No, it's double every range. The example is 20 feet. So if yours is 50, then it'd be -2 at 51 feet and -4 at 101 feet.
So if I total attack and I shoot the boar, what would be?
So you'd have a -2, and then if you total attack with one single shot, then it'd be a +1 instead of a +3.
Okay.
And if you wanted to double tap it, then you would take a -4 on each attack.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's a pretty bad penalty for double. Yeah. Let's
well,
just.
Have
I only have
dual
one.
wielding. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I do have dual wielding.
So,
would that still be?
So a dual wielding means you'd only have a -2, but then because you're at distance, it adds another -2, so you're back to -4.
That still sucks. Okay, I'm just gonna total attack him with
+1.
With one, yeah.
Okay.
Let's just shoot him with one.
You also
Shooting
have
the
5
boar?
stat points.
I do. I
So
feel like I'm
you
gonna
could-
need these later.
I mean, you could offset the
Yeah,
dual wielding penalty.
You could take 2 shots and just stack everything on the second shot. So that's for metagaming
Sure.
a little bit, but
Okay, let's just. What in the holy name of Mary? And how many style points would I need to offset it enough?
so your first shot would be at -4, your second shot would be at -4, and then whatever you want to spend style points for.
Let's just do 1 shot with the +3.
Okay.
Okay.
There's my 1 shot with the +3.
And that is at the boar.
At the boar.
Dang
Nice.
it, I had my modifier off. You strike the boar, and he takes quite a big hit. He lets out a loud squeal as the bullet strikes. Anything else, Jacobs?
Can I make sure I have a smoke lit?
Sure. You wanna spend a style point for that?
I will spend a style point to make sure I have a smoke lit.
Sure.
If we don't kill this boar, its next episode is going to end up being the plot to Princess Mononoke.
And is that all, Jacobs?
For now.
Ben.
Could I use ritual magic to lift the boar into the air?
You can certainly try.
And why not? I'll put 1 style point into that. I'll throw it up there. Second.
I will roll his. I'll roll his willpower. You begin to what does it look like as you try to do this?
You just see anyone that can see me sees me reaching out my hand and just as if grasping it and just lifting it into the air.
And it is a bit of a struggle. You do begin to lift it into the air. You may have to focus on this a bit longer, but you are able to get some of its legs. You know, it begins slowly lifting up into the air. It's definitely a struggle, but you're able to begin lifting him up.
Mm-hmm.
Are you staying where you are? Are you moving?
I didn't know if I could move.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Actually,
move
you
up
move.
to here.
All right. The old man he's just talking to you, Bard. He's like, "Don't let them get my gold. Don't let them hurt my boar."
What?
Lordric.
the hell?
And so, I imagine, like, as, like, Lordric is, like, doing this prayer, right? He has his, like, Bible open, like, outstretched in one hand as he's reading from it, right? Like, as he's reading, like, I think he looks up over at the boar, and as he's, like, looking at the boar, he's like, oh, shit, right? And then, like, mysterious gust of wind, almost like a divine fucking like interception happens that like gusts his pages over to like the banishment prayers, and then he starts changing the prayer into one of removing this evil.
Okay. Please give me your ritual.
I was writing in my modifier. Okay, so beep. 7. That's my third 7.
7. That is your third 7.
It's gotta
That
at least
is
be a style
insane.
point.
That will be a style point, and because you hit the jackpot, I'll give the boar a negative. Because you hit the jackpot, I'll give him a -1. Nah, I've been doing -2s a lot. It'll be a -2. This boar, you get the sense you're gonna have to hit it off at least one more time, but you do see at least maybe something you don't recognize, but Jacobs, you certainly recognize something in the sky opening above this boar. As it begins sucking it into it.
Oh, the boar's being sucked away?
Yes. Anything else from Lordric as you now see this? You see what your holy powers are manifesting.
I feel like I'm helping him throw this boar into a portal.
Probably.
Oh man.
Is there anything else from the old preacher?
Oh, no, I'm definitely not moving. I might actually move one up to really get that meat shield. You know what I mean? Okay, and that's the end of my turn.
All right, these bandits. Let's see, the bandits directly on the boar. Let's see, do they have the will to stay in this fight?
Seeing this giant boar get raised and off the ground, and a portal open up above them.
The guy who got gored is sprinting for his life. He's double moving. He's like, fuck you, Jed! I've had enough of this!
Yeah, what is everyone's opinion? Like, all these bandits think of a gigantic portal opening up above the barn.
Well, these three can certainly see it. This guy down here who shot at you, Ben, is looking at it, but he seems like he steadies himself to take a shot at you.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's gonna do so. You still have
+2.
Yeah, I'll say the +2 is still there for now.
Besides that, my danger sense, I always get my full defense rating.
Mm-hmm.
Surprised or ambushed, whatever.
This also isn't, you're not surprised or ambushed.
No. But
So roll your
anyway,
defense.
let me pull that up here. Defense +2.
It boom, right past you. This other guy also like throws down his gun, and he's like, "Wait for me!" Oh right, all the other guys. I need to go for all the other guys. I forgot the other guys existed. Let's see here. Oh, dang it. Bart, as you're looking around, you see one of the bandits has kicked open a door and entered the house, and he's gonna take a crack shot at you.
Bring it on. That door's open, then I take it.
Yes. God, all my bandits are rolling 2s!
Oh! It still stings like a...
You do get pinged for 1 damage as the bullet grazes you. This guy is gonna come right here, and he's just gonna hold. This other guy is gonna try and rush towards the stairs. Let's see. I'll roll perception for him to see if he can see you over the railing.
Do I need to roll an opposed stealth because I am still crouching?
Yeah, give me an opposed stealth.
Okay, I'm great at these anyways. I stand up after I got shot. Ow, son of a...
You do have cover, so I think you'll only take like a -1 for your defense, as he does also try to shoot you.
Okay, so I'm at -2 + 1, so -1 net.
Mm-hmm. You're able to duck and cover. Literally, all of my bandits are rolling 2s. What is up with this?
It's because
Jed
Your bandits are not very good shots.
going to 1, 2. He's just gonna run to get cover at the behind the house as we move to you, Bart.
I'm gonna like look from inside to the guy outside to the guy back inside, and then I'm just gonna lift my revolver with one hand and fan the hammer as I shoot twice with a total attack and using my talent of rapid shot.
Who you firing at?
Inside guy. So
Alright.
I'm at a -2 for total attack. This is probably really dumb, considering they're all attacking me. Where's my gun? Did I not have I don't have equipment added. Can you tell me what the revolver is again? Is it
The light
3L?
revolver. The light revolver is 2L. A heavy revolver is 3.
Yeah, I've got. He was supposed to have a pair of 2 light revolvers, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's got 9. Okay. So first shot, inside guy, bang, and then second shot, inside guy, bang.
First defense. Second defense at a -2. How do you absolutely... This guy turns the corner expecting to get the drop on you and, you know, fill you with lead. And as he turns, it's like a, oh, I done goofed.
Yeah, because
As
He
you
missed
fan
you
the
with
hammer.
one bolt.
So what happens? What do we see?
so I get nicked in the shoulder, stand up, look at him with my pistol drawn, and then okay, take a shot from behind, look back at him, and then shooting, and then he just double taps him and slapping the hammer down for the second shot. So first shot chest, second shot face.
And this man is obliterated. There's a hole in his chest. His chest is bleeding. There is certainly no longer a face where there once was. And there, if that body remains, there's going to be a stain in old Hofstadter's floor.
Yep. Now the problem is everybody else will still get to go, and me being at the top, my total attack means I do not get my defense bonus, my full defense bonus. So that's my turn though. Total attack is all I can do.
Jacobs.
I think that pig. It looks like a pig. Is pretty well taken care of at this point. I think I'm gonna take your shot at him.
Okay.
We're gonna go measure real quick because I'm not sure how far. Oh, he's really far away. Maybe I should shoot him instead. He's closer. Let's shoot him instead.
Shoot the one that's annoying me.
Yeah, that's the one I was gonna shoot.
All right.
Just take a shot at him. Roll a 2. Roll a 2. Darn
3.
it.
he gets winged. He's bleeding quite a bit, but he still has a revolver in hand behind the fence.
Oh, I could total attack, but no, I already rolled it. Because I'll just move.
We like a good movement.
Yeah, we'll move. Sorry, Lord Saint Stair. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You should be fine now.
What's my move? Ah, yeah, 6.
Ill-fated is the man that shoots the priest.
All right. Ill fate to the man that shoots the priest's son. Ben.
Well,
He doesn't
not
hate me
exactly
enough
knowing where the portal came from, but not being a stranger to magic, I will continue lifting the boar.
Alright, give me another ritual magic. Let me find my good old rift boar. Roll him a willpower. You are lifting him. The boar begins. He is starting to get engulfed by this portal. He's like halfway through the portal.
Okay, I can't switch weapons right now because that's an action.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just stay right here for now.
Hey. The old man is gonna take his gun and he's gonna shout, "God dang it, Jed, I said stay off my property!" And he's gonna turn over the fence and shoot at this guy. Well, at least the old man can roll better than the bandits. Why is the good guy gotta roll better than the bad guys?
Because the good guy always has to win.
It is the Lord's mercy.
Of course. Speaking of, we moved to the Lord's child.
So I have a question. Can I just roll willpower to fling this boar through the portal? To just break its will and force it in?
I will say, I'll give you a. You can do a ritual magic plus 2. How about that? Okay.
Yeah, because the other one would be pretty ridiculous. Anyways, I guess they're both ridiculous, so it doesn't matter. So, beep. Wait, is that just an additional +2, or you're just joking about my grimoire?
No, I'm giving you an additional.
Okay. In that case, I will throw in 2 more from the rift.
Okay.
4
The
plus
rift
6.
Provides. Okay.
9.
You are able to throw the boar through this portal, but the portal's still there. Do you leave it open? Do you close it?
Yeah, can I just do that one-handed book slam shut thing and then have the fucking portal just close?
That's cool. Take a style point, and you certainly can. As the portal closes,
loud
board's
thump
gone.
of the book shutting.
So,
and you all
as the
hear.
One, I
Mhm.
take my focus off of it and turn towards the bandit next to me. Still holding
you
my lasso,
certainly do
getting
that.
it ready.
And you all hear the sound of you know the sound when you take off a drain and that's the sound of a drain popping. That's the sound that plays when the portal shuts with the slam of the book.
Distant thunder crack.
Anything else, Mr. Lordrick?
Yes, I will Deckard Cain slowly walk this way, with my limp and whatnot.
Okay.
And that is it.
These bandits up here are gone. This bandit is going to try and shoot you, Mr. Ben. The +2 bonus is gone by now. I would imagine with the shutting of the book, the holy prayer has ended.
I would have had to have turned that off to do the other prayer anyways. So yeah, that's been gone for a second.
So let's see if I can roll more than a 2.
1.
Oh
Darn it.
my god. Why can't I roll higher than a 2? This feels broken.
He rolled a 3 on his defense. I don't know why you're complaining.
Because I'm still miss. This bandit is gonna run out too. And he's gonna take a shot at you, Jacobs. I'm gonna flip out.
That's a lot of twos.
For once, it's rigged in our direction.
Something's not right here, man.
That's hilarious.
Something's not right. Oh my god. This bandit's gonna try and shoot at the old man. If I roll another 2, I quit. Oh,
He rolled a 3!
When I roll to hit the NPC, sure.
I mean, you
Takes
did
another
hit
bullet.
me.
Yeah, that is true. They still rolled 2s. Some splinters from the fence shatter into the old man. As we move to Jed, who's also gonna rush out now and make his stand.
Yes, come
With his
closer.
boys. Let me measure this out. He's gonna take a shot at you, Jacobs.
Roll a 2. Roll
So you're gonna have a
-2.
-2 to your defense as he fires his heavy revolver. It's better than a 2. The bullet, and he spits on the ground as we move to you, Bart.
This guy shot me, right?
Yes.
Or shot at me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna move into here, and then I'm gonna take aim actually at the bandit leader, and I would like to shoot at him, please.
Okay, you certainly can.
Okay. 7 attack.
Oh, damn.
Wow. That hurt.
Wow. From out of nowhere, you blow Jed's head clean off.
It's a dumb hat anyway.
And it's like a slow motion moment where he falls to the ground. Everyone hears the shot. They're all looking around in complete disbelief. Anything else, Bart? Or are we moving to Jacobs
yeah,
for the
no.
cleanup crew?
I just want to take a really quick
And
look
the
in
bandit
here.
scatter.
Yeah. Okay.
Do I see a fireplace?
Let's see. You do, right here.
Ah, cool. Then I'm gonna turn my back to it and face the back outside the door.
Jacobs in slow motion. Jed was there, and then he had no head.
Told you you ain't got no more place in this town. I'll quick draw my other revolver, and they're both within range. I think they both come with a -2 on the roll. There's the first. Here's the second.
Okay, one of them is gonna have a -2 on their defense.
I was going top to bottom, so the one with the 3
Yep.
is probably the one with the, yeah.
You shoot down this first guy. How do you drop them both? The quick draw of the 2 pistols.
Nice.
I'm not sure Jed was actually aiming at anything in particular, so they probably just have very bad luck.
And you just boom boom, and they drop.
It's not so much that Jacobs was aiming as much as he has to be good at something in his life, and this was the something that he is good at.
The something is shooting. Okay. Ben.
I'm gonna tell the other bandits that now is your chance to leave.
You want to do intimidation to diplomacy?
I'll roll a diplomacy. 3.
He looks like he's about to get up and run.
I will move towards the
Okay.
the center here.
That is until the old man raises up and takes a shot at him. God, man, my NPCs are rolling so horrible. Something's rigged against me, I swear.
He rolled the average. And the defense also was the average.
This guy takes a bullet to the face and he drops as the old man lies back down the fence.
So was Jed's bounty dead or alive? Do I know?
It was dead or alive. The bounty was more so, if he's dead, that's
Get
fine
rid
with
of
us.
Okay, so I'm still gonna take him in for the bounty, given that that's my job.
As the gunfire dies down, what's everyone doing? Ben moves in
I
for the
begin
corpse.
preparing
Jacob
to
is-
search him and
Gonna check on
Get
the
ready.
old man.
take him
I'm gonna go over to the fireplace.
in.
Okay.
To find
what's
anything
Mordred
special
doing?
in this Jed's body, or I need to roll
Slowly
right.
walking towards the dead bandits, because
Okay.
he's like old and like it hurts to move sometimes, so he's like, kind of like more of that that slow decrepit walk of someone that has seen some days.
Jacobs would ask the old man if he wants to be moved inside, not specifically trying to prevent Bart, but also probably preventing Bart from doing whatever the heck he's doing.
Well, let's see. Bart, roll me a perception. Ben, also roll me a perception.
Ben or me?
Should I roll perception
Uh,
or investigation?
Oh, yeah. Bart, you can roll investigation. Jacobs and Ben roll perceptions. Or actually,
Perception.
Ben, roll me investigation instead. Sorry.
Perception's
Investigation.
still on my end.
Yeah, still perception.
Okay. Ha! Perfect.
That's hilarious.
So,
Uh,
Jacob, the old man, he's taken some hits. He's feeling fine. He does accept your hand. Help me into my house. I need a drink. Ben, there's nothing really unique on Jed other than maybe his revolver. You do notice that he's missing his right hand, and with the stump, where the stump is, there seems to be these like orange-purple crystals that are growing.
ooh.
And
Hmm.
Bart, you feel around and look inside the fireplace, and you do find a gold bar.
What would you have me roll to check those crystals?
In 1 second. Bart, what are you doing?
I'm gonna try to pick
Yep,
up the
that's
gold
fine.
bar. Is there only one?
Seems to be just you've only found one.
Alright, I'm gonna pick it up. And then, if I know gold bars are actually like pretty heavy, I'm gonna go over, try to take. I'm gonna just take off my Confederate shawl thing, cloak, whatever, and wrap it up in that, and just hold it under my arm, like I'm pretending to like cradle the wounded shoulder.
Okay, you can certainly do so. And I think that would be the time that these two walk into the house.
While I'm walking in, can I yell for the boy? Because
Yeah, you certainly can. Yelling for
I
the
will-
boy.
yell, "Hey boy, go get the town doctor. Want him to take a quick look at the old man." Literally,
And
that's
so
his
he
name.
does. And Ben,
That's
if you have
probably-
medicine, You can roll medicine.
Okay.
So
I am untrained in that.
this is one of those scenarios where if you're bad at something, it can make the
Oh.
situation worse.
Mm-hmm.
Roller anyway, I guess.
You don't know what the crystals might mean or might do, but they're certainly not natural. And as these two walk into the house behind you, Bart, the old man says, "Is my gold safe?"
It's about as safe as it's gonna be. Looks like they took it. I will roll a con if I need to.
Yes, please.
But as I do so, I like slick my finger across the brim of my hat with style.
I don't even need to roll to know that I'm not going to be smart enough to actually, No, he's not lying.
The old man looks at you, Bart, and he sees your shawl slung over your arm, and he says, "You're really gonna lie to an old man who just got shot?"
Do I see his arm?
Do you see his arm, his wounded arm?
Yeah, like whatever the crystals are on.
The old man doesn't have
That's
crystals
on-
No, that's the bad guy on the outside.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the old man. Well, we just did save your behind. Figure some sort of payment should be good.
You also did something to my boar.
Well, I don't even know what happened out there.
Let's just straighten some stuff out. Bart, you take something you shouldn't?
No.
Why don't you go check that shawl of his?
Shut up, old man.
I don't
just
even
roll a
know
straight
what I
charisma if you want. You can roll a straight charisma, Jacobs.
I would personally think that it doesn't hurt to check. But I don't know if Jacobs is... Hey, that looks like Jacobs has enough competence to just ask, "Hey, Bart, what's in that shawl?"
My bleeding arm with a bandage on me. And this. I dropped the gold bar on the ground. Solid gold, man.
Think you should go have the doc check. He's on his way here. Go sit on the porch.
Yeah, but this year I need to take it to the museum back in Houston. This is a relic
No,
of the gold rush, you
it's-
see.
It's not yours.
How did the old man come across it?
I look at the old man.
Old man like me had to get this house somehow.
You remind me of the infamous train robber Biggs. I
Do
bet you
I,
stole this. I'm gonna reach down and pick
Ooh.
it back up.
Give me a Give me a diplomacy, Bart.
I don't have
Can-
diplomacy.
Can I roll intimidate and tell him to put the bar down?
Yeah, you can roll intimidate. Actually, Bart, if you have intimidate, I'll also accept an intimidate.
I don't have intimidation.
What do you think? What do you think would be good? Then let's talk. What would be a good roll
I
here?
don't know, just willpower, I guess.
Hey, wait! I should have asked if I get a bonus for being known around town. My fame within the town of Driftwood, I am a known member of her
You
population.
do. You would get a bonus per rank.
I have one.
So roll another die.
I can't beat
One-
your roll.
1 or 2.
1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This
No,
is
it's
when you
2.
ask.
My bad. I'm sorry.
This is when you ask yourself, "Are you willing to get shot?"
Yeah, I put down the gold
Um,
bar, and then I kind of cradling my wounded arm. I'm gonna
You know
very
what?
gruffly
As
push. Or go ahead.
as you're doing that, I found a roll. Roll me an empathy, Bart.
I still don't. I don't think that's.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
I'm gonna just like set down the gold bar, but I'm gonna get all in between JJ and the old man, and
I
just
was a-
like push
I was
past you
about-
both.
I was about to start quoting lines. We've been having a gunfight out there, and I ain't been keeping track of how many bullets I have.
I don't know about bullets, but I got 2 kills under my name.
With
Don't
your,
really want to make it 3 though.
With your empathy,
I didn't
Bart,
finish
as
my
you,
line. I was gonna ask if you were feeling lucky, punk, but never mind.
Maybe I'm feeling more punky than lucky.
as you shove past, after you drop the gold bar with your empathy, and you're like, maybe you're just was it old Biggs, the train bandit.
Yeah, that's the one.
As you're walking past that, as you shove past, you give, the old man looks at you with a look of like, you better keep your mouth shut.
I will keep my mouth shut as I not limp because I'm shot in the arm, but I'll just go outside. What's all this big commotion about a big boar? We having bacon tonight, priest?
Jacobs would want Lord Saint what's his face to get in here. Cuz he's not smart enough to deal with devil pigs. And I right here have lots of questions that I don't even know what they are.
I would have called my horse up at this point.
Okay. And the old man does take the gold bar, stuffs it back in the fireplace, and then takes a seat on his couch.
It wouldn't be a bad idea to probably thank properly the people who came and helped you. Though, I think we have a few other questions before we be leaving.
Well, I keep the good stuff in the back if you want to treat yourself to a bottle. Mm-hmm.
I would yell out the door. Preacher! Do you have any questions about figuring out all this? Whatever.
Okay, so Lordric, in the midst of his, like, rites of passage to these poor souls that now find themselves at Heaven's Gates, or Hell's Gates, one or the other, understands that, their soul might need, a little bit of a, might want to open the door for him and send them through, So he's doing, what his job is. Once again, we'll look over at Ben and be like, hey, could you help a poor preacher out and bring that poor dead man over there in the coop out?
I would walk over and pull carry or pull, whichever. I'll probably carry it. Carry the body over here, put it in front of him, like right here.
You can do so.
He would nod and thank you, but as you were going over there, I could see Lordric, like, mutter under his breath how easy it is for the average man to, just dispatch a man's life and walk away.
Does
and then,
Lordric's chapel have confessions?
Sure.
Cool.
That's going to be interesting. Anyways, yeah, he'll finish whatever, like, passage, like, doing the whole thing. And then after that, Like, if, he would finally be like, ugh, realizing that he's going to have to walk upstairs, will slowly but surely groan, walking towards inside.
Okay. You can certainly do so.
I'm not going to actually make him, like, only move, like, so far at a time. I would, but, like...
I think I have enough time to actually go get a bottle, and Jacob's to actually do so. Well, while he's taking forever.
It takes literally, like, 3 minutes for him to walk that distance.
Okay, I'm already back by now.
What seems to be the issue in here?
You called that thing a devil pig. I would have previously, in confession, told you the extent of what happened. Because it was crazy and no one else would believe me, so I just wanted to tell about it. I don't know if the Lordric is dealing with any of that nonsense, but Jacobs knows he's not the person to deal with it, so... You got any questions about the pig and where he got it?
I figure it was the work of the devil. It's no problem. It's gone now.
Perfect.
But is there anything else of such nature around here?
Not that I'm aware of. It was just that one thing. Something opened up in the sky, and this giant pig burst open, and me and my farm hands, we managed to capture it, hoping to win the county fair.
Ah.
Is this where the kids? Okay, never mind. That's outside my jurisdiction.
Sorry. Now I have a question. So I heard that that the old man may have some deformities. Would I be able?
That was the bandit leader.
Oh, okay, excellent. So the old man's fine.
The old man is fine. He's a bit wounded, but he is fine.
Wait, so I would have noticed that while I was doing the.
Yes, you would have noticed that the bandit leader Jed, on his missing arm, the stump, were these orange-purple spikes growing out of it.
Okay. While passing, while walking back in, I would Gordrick would have told Ben to be careful about those, because those do not seem natural, like the look of the devil.
Before Jacobs leaves the old man, if there's anything else you see opening up and dropping down, recommend you stay away from it and report it to the sheriff.
I guess I will.
Could I, bending over this bandit guy who I think I shot in the head, or I forgot where I shot him.
You removed his head.
Yes, but looking at the stump with the crystals, can I take some loose cloth off of just his coat or whatever and try to see if I can break off some of those crystals? I'll use the butt of my revolver as a hammer if I have to.
Yeah, let's see. Give me a medicine.
I'm going to good with these medicines. Maybe I should turn over a new leaf.
You are able to remove one of these crystals growing out of the Jed's arm stump, and you can feel like a little zap underneath the cloth coming from the crystal itself, like it is alive and pulsating.
Ooh, I'll double wrap that then.
Okay.
I'll grab another bandit jacket strip and just double wrap it.
You are able to do so.
I'll turn around and oh, I didn't see you there. Howdy, partner. Don't mind me, just...
Fancy those crystals, do you?
While... Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, while in the house with the old man, Lordrick would ask the old man if he would send one of his farm hands back to town to like pick up the morgue or the mortician.
Yeah, that can be arranged. Don't really want to get my farm tarnished.
Oh, I think the boar would have done more than enough of that.
Oh, yeah. Maybe it was the right thing to get rid of it. And takes a swig of a drink. What's this conversation looking like? Between Bart and Ben.
I was just waiting on
Ah.
Bart's response. I just asked him if he's fancying those crystals.
Well, I figured all this work, it's not on the, it's not volunteer work. At least I was intending it for it to be. Well, the old man won't pay up, so figured maybe the bandits might. You, new in town?
I've been around before.
Ah. Well, wow, you want one of those crystals? I didn't take them all. It's kind of weird. I've never seen a man with gemstones growing
Nope.
out of his stump.
I just need him.
Huh?
Sort of giving you a very, very not so subtle hint that I'm after a bounty.
You know, I shot him for you, so maybe you owe me a little cut of that.
Unless you want me to come after you next.
No, I think I'll pass. I'll just take this and I'll like jingle the crystals in the leather sack.
Jacobs, as you're standing there, the old man Hofstetter says, Jacobs, can you do an old man a favor? When you get back to town, you just tell my daughter that I miss her. I really can't get to town as much. My legs don't work like they used to before. I think I heard that in a song once.
Right, I'll tell her. If she needs, I can bring her over. But that's her decision. I don't. Is there something going on between them to where she's not coming to see him on purpose?
You know, being a member of the town, you would know that for safety reasons, she moved to the actual town of Driftwood.
Okay.
Lordrick would look over at the old man and be like, we might want to take a look inside your barn. We don't know what type of befoulment that foul creature could have done. Might have some lingering effects.
If you want to, barn is open to you. Already helped a good chunk today. I'm not going to stop you.
Also, I imagine Jacobs being not a cattle rustler, but when they need to like move herds, I imagine him being one of the people who does that seasonal work.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'd probably say to the old man, "Let me know when to move the cattle, and I'll be over. I'll let your daughter know. Let her make up her mind whether she wants to come visit."
I appreciate that, Jacobs, and we'll do. Seems that moving cattle more of a job for me than dealing with a giant boar.
I don't know how you got that thing in the barn.
As Lordrick turns to leave, he like stops and looks over at Jacobs. Could you be a good lad and drag that body out? You see, I just can't. He's a stout man. I'm not able to do a young man's work anymore.
No problem, preacher. I'll grab the body and start to drag. Do I need to
drag
roll
it out?
anything? Or...
Nah,
Yeah.
you can drag it out
Okay.
to the pile.
Cool. Before Bart goes, I would hand him a bottle.
Oh, thank you, friend.
Try not
I
to
would-
cause too much trouble around town, Bart.
Are you the sheriff around here?
Not today.
I'll just give you the cheers with the whiskey flask in, or drink it. Take a swig.
Okay. Sorry, Todd.
No, it's fine. I was just gonna type it out.
Okay.
Even with you dragging the body, you still beat him out of the door. It takes him longer to get out off of the staircase than it took you to carry an additional man's weight. Anyways, yes, Gordrick will walk out and look at everyone and be like, "Could I borrow you lads for just a second? You see, I'm not entirely convinced that any taint of that strange creature might not still linger in the barn over there, and I do not wish to be assaulted if there was any bandits over there. By myself, I could hardly defend myself."
Want me to get my horse so you can get there faster?
Hearty,
I've got
har,
mine
har.
right here.
Back in my day, I would have been faster than most of you, but that day was a long time ago.
Back when Jesus
I would
roamed the
just-
earth.
I would just ride Delta right up to the preacher and help him up.
Okay. You guys can make your way to the barn if you wish.
Yeah, I'd go check him there. I knock before I enter.
The door is gone, essentially. It was
Wow.
splintered
There
open
is
from
no
before.
door.
Well, then I say knock knock.
And inside you do see similar residue from the rift that is running through Driftwood.
Does there seem to be any similarities between the rift color there and the crystal that was on the dude's arm?
Very similar. The exact same color.
I will wince and kind of go up to it and just like unfurl the leather and let the crystal like fly over to that spot.
You let go of the crystal drops, and you see it kind of lodges itself within this rift-like residue, and it begins to, not immediately, but you can see it definitely begin getting more spikes and more jagged.
Oh shoot.
I will use a style point to say that I brought like a canteen of holy water with me.
See,
And
yeah.
Lordrick will step into the barn and like start pouring the holy water into his hand and like flicking it onto the rift area and begin prayers of exorcism.
Give me a ritual magic with an additional +2 from the holy water.
Does the Holy Grail being nearby within like 5 feet of him give him an additional bonus?
You know, I'm gonna give Lordrick an additional +2 bonus again. You may not know the Holy Grail is next to you, but you definitely feel the power, the holy power.
5.
Is that with the Grimoire bonus as well?
+2 from... No, it was not. I guess I'll roll 2d... Wait, no. Slash R... 2d2. That would be one more additional assess. So
One
6.
additional success is good enough. This is minor residue of the rift. And you are able to cleanse. It doesn't cleanse immediately. It is likely a thing that will disappear over time. But you are able to, at most, shrink the residue so that it doesn't seem to be big of a threat to the farm.
Seeing
Okay.
this, I would wonder if it would affect the residue on my horse at all. And I would ask the preacher if maybe he could try it.
Yeah, is that residue still clinging to his horse?
It is.
Oh yeah, I'd definitely be like, gladly. No creature of God's creation should suffer such blasphemies.
And you can do another ritual miracles with the same bonuses.
I don't know why I love your character so much, Todd, but your character brings me joy.
You are able to splash the horse and remove the residue that was clinging onto its hooves.
Thank you very much, preacher.
You are very welcome. As he like smiles and does that squinty eye he clearly can't see right now smile.
So what's the plan for the crew now?
I'm gonna go turn in the bounty as soon as we go back to town and see if there's any more on the board.
Does having plans require thinking?
So I take it you're going back to the town for a drink?
Sounds good. Let's do that.
Lordrick, you heading back to town as well? How about, and Bart, what are you guys two doing?
Yeah, he'll head back to town. I think beforehand he would make sure that he would want the old man to know that, like, he'll probably come by every once in a while to make sure that any taint of, corruption has been, isn't persisting or anything. And, of course, to tell him or the sheriff of any strange occurrences in the future.
Of course.
Bart will heave a heavy sigh and look for his lost horse, find him, and go with you guys back to town.
As you guys head back to town, may everyone roll me a perception, please.
Okay.
You all see, and Lordrick, I'm actually going to ask for the very first one of this game. Please give me a sanity. You are perfectly fine. Your faith does not falter, but you definitely make connection with this figure. You feel something dark within your heart as you look at this figure. As you all come back to town, you see a man standing atop the stairs in front of the church. Finely dressed man. Dark clothing, black suit, black pants, black dress shoes. Nice, neat clothing, a top hat, nicely groomed mustache that ends in a point. And he's just watching you all with but a simple smile as you approach. And Lordrick, you feel something is not right as he watches you approach.
Well, I out of character know who this person is, and no, Lordrick is like, when he sees this man, he senses, just a disturbance in, like, his flock.
And you all see this figure. He's just watching you.
I'm gonna just think to myself, that man looks like he needs to be robbed.
And as you all get to this point, you hear him speaking to you. And he says, "Congratulations. Your fates are now tied to this town. The four of you have made quite a show of today. I think I'll enjoy my stay in Driftwood. I heard you have quite the mining operation going. It'd be a shame if something happened to your mines and brought famine to this lovely town.
Quick question: is there actually a mining operation going on in town, or is he
There
speaking
is a
in
mine
riddles?
system.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if he was speaking in riddles, because that would have been.
And he looks directly at you, Lordrick, as if peering into your soul, and he tips his hat and he goes, "Do keep your flock safe, preacher." And he blows open the doors of your church, and they swing closed behind him.
So not blowing open like a breaching clear dynamite?
No, he
Oh.
pushes them open with force,
Ah.
and then the doors slam shut behind him.
Okay. I believe that like as he's like walking through the door into his church, one, I think Wardrick could like kind of be a little like meh about like him going into his church, but he would also be all like, I will be sure to guide all those back that tend to wander.
And I'm gonna ask specifically, Lordrick, do you hop off the horse and walk back to your church?
Oh yeah.
As you walk back to the church and you open the doors, I'm gonna move you up here. As you open the doors, you're all standing, you're all on your horses, you're all watching this. Lordrick opens the doors, and the man is nowhere to be seen. And that is where we will end this Tale of Driftwood.
So much I want to ask, but...
So much, but I think that is a scenario for another time. Let's see. You all participated. There was quite a decent chunk of danger, I'd say. You all got shot at.
I even got
You
shot,
were doing
for real.
You even got shot, for real. You did some good role-playing. Was there a goal to succeed? I guess you guys fought off the bandits.
Jacob's discovered something.
What did you discover?
You can get rid of the purple if you put a preacher on it.
That is a fair point. You have learned how to deal with the rift.
Small amounts of it, at least.
So I think as your fates are entwined with the town of Driftwood, you will all receive 5 experience points.
Yay!
Let's go.
I would like to just bank those for now, unless something comes up that I want to spend them on for skill boosts, but yeah.
Well, you certainly can bank everything. That was a very fun game with some little cryptics thrown in there.
Indeed.
Yeah, all of the cryptics were completely missed by my character. I just want you to know that.
Oh yes, of course.
It's really hard because I'm like trying to remember like what my character would remember from the last game, and he just has a cup. It's really simple. It's a cup.
It is indeed a cup.
Alright, I'm gonna end the recording. Thank you, Pi, for that was a really fun game. It was fun to just be in those western town and shoot stuff.
I appreciate the music right now.
Yes, totally. I feel like it's kind of special for Ben because of your profession.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tip the hat to you, sir.
Yes, we all tip our hats, and we'll see you in the next one.